My name is Cheryl Livingston, and I am the co-chair, along with Ken Beitler, of the Social and Mission Justice Committee at church. We're both on session. And we thought it would just be fun so many people in our church are involved in a lot of volunteer service activities, and it's local, national, and international. We thought it would be fun to highlight the stuff they've done and to kind of honor all the work they've done, and then also to allow them to share information about the organizations they work through. So we came up with this idea of a mission and service fair. And a lot of people, we were trying to just get 5. We got 5, and then more people volunteered, and we ended up with like 14. So hopefully it'll be interesting.
I'm Malcolm McLean. I've been a volunteer for many years now with Compatible Technology Incorporated. We're headquartered in St. Paul, very near the train station on Transfer Road. We're now in our 30th year, and I've been involved for about 20 of those 30 years. Our major goal is to be of help in the post-harvest side of the food chain. That was the thought that our 3 founders had, that they observed that there was a lot of attention given to fertilizer, seeds, etc., but there wasn't anything much done to help people in the post-harvest side, once the harvest is in. And I can tell you from personal experience in Guatemala that one of our projects in the decade of the 90s was a corn conservation project in the state of Jalapa in Guatemala, but people were losing half of their corn after it had been harvested. And through some simple technologies like improved shelling, that's getting the kernels off the cob, improved drying of the corn, getting them to buy on time a metal silo that they could put inside their house. Very simple technologies. We were able to reduce that loss from half to about 5%. So that's been a very important role for us for many years. About 10 years ago, we got involved in water enhancement, and that personally is the project to which I'm giving most of my attention now. Everywhere we went in the world, and we've been in India and Africa and Central America and the Caribbean and many different parts of the world, we find people with debilitating diseases carried by polluted water. So not the purification, the real water specialists don't like that because it's never absolutely pure. But you can, through simple technologies, you can lift up water that will make you sick, and you can make it potable. And so that's what we've got over here in our design, and that's a very important activity for us. We have grown a lot in the last 2 or 3 years, and now including the monetizing, if you're following me, of our volunteers. We have 150 volunteers, and if we say, well, if we paid them, that would be about $400,000. If we include that as money, our budget now is about $1 million a year, and there are a lot of very interesting projects, and I've been very happy to be involved with Compatible Technology these years, many years, and also very happy that the McAllister Plymouth Church has been a very faithful supporter of our cause.
I'm Gloria McRae, and I'm a volunteer with Mano a Mano, which sends medical supplies to Bolivia. Bolivia is the poorest country in South America and the second poorest in the Western Hemisphere, second to Haiti. The organization started in 1994 as a kitchen table operation, and it has grown tremendously since then. In 1994, my friends Joan and Segundo Velasquez started the organization as a means of sending surplus medical supplies to Bolivia, where they were in dire need of help. Segundo's brother is a physician in Bolivia, and Segundo, who works for Northwest Airlines, was able to travel to Bolivia taking whatever medical supplies he could get. And a doctor here started collecting medical supplies, and Segundo was able to take them to Bolivia, and it has just continued to grow. In 1996, for my 70th birthday, my friends had this large party, and they, without my knowledge, asked people to make a contribution to Mano a Mano, thinking that maybe they would get enough money for an examining table, or maybe they would get enough money for a microscope. And Segundo, who thinks globally, said maybe we could get enough money for a village clinic. Well, the other members of the group thought that he was crazy, but my friends were so generous they contributed $3,500. An anonymous donor gave matching funds, and now we have 2 clinics in Bolivia named Clinica Gloria 1 and Clinica Gloria 2. Well, 17 years later, we have now built 140 clinics, schools, roads, reservoirs, and we have an airplane to fly people in from the rural areas to the city if they need the kind of medical care that they could not get in a rural clinic. At this point, we've just had a big fundraiser, and we're doing very well. But as with all nonprofits, it's harder to get funding. We now have 2 employees, an executive director and an office manager, in addition to the founders. And we're very optimistic that we will be able to continue to grow.
Hi there, I'm Chuck Owis. I'm here for Habitat for Humanity. The fact that you're looking at this video, you're already on our video website. You'll find that there are some photos from the build we did in 2010. You might want to take a look at those. Also, there is some information for from this Mission of Social Justice Here and Now. Look at page 3 and you'll get a good background on what Habitat does. We partner with 7 other congregations, and we cover this year 2 weeks, the last week of July and the first week of August. Contact me at ckoase@comcast.net, and we'll be happy to have you as part of our build crew. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Tom Richardson, and I'm here today to talk to you about Clare Housing. It is one of the missions that McAllister Plymouth United Church supports. Clare Housing is supportive housing for people living with AIDS, and they have 2 houses in South Minneapolis, Grace House 1 and Grace House 2, at which we provide dinner every other month. It is about bringing food, but more importantly, it is about fellowship. We make it like a holiday meal. We bring dinner and we sit down and join the residents and the caregivers for dinner the evenings that we go. We would love to have more people help us out. If you're interested in volunteering, give me a call. Thank you, and we hope to see you.
My name is Sean Lundy. I participated in the Uganda Service Learning Program at Iowa State University in the summer of 2010. The actual name of the program was the School Garden Program. So basically what we did was we worked at 2 different primary schools in the rural Kamuli district, which is just north of Kampala, the capital. And at each of these schools we would teach English, math, and science to the school children, and at the same time take them outside and work with them in a laboratory type setting in the gardens, where we teach them sustainable agricultural practices and growing practices to help them with a concept called knowledge transfer, where hopefully they would take this knowledge of growing food home to their household, and then be able to successfully grow food for their parents and help their parents learn successful agricultural techniques. Also, to further help these schools, we worked on different projects. I guess now I should explain that with me went 6 other Iowa State undergrad students, 3 graduate students, and 4 professors. And we were matched by Makerere University, which is the premier university in Uganda, and they sent 8 undergrads, 2 grad students, and 2 professors to work with us. And in these teams, we developed these projects to implement at both schools. The projects included health and sanitation, beekeeping, poultry, agroforestry and irrigation. I worked on 2 different projects. I worked on irrigation and health and sanitation. Health and sanitation was my primary project. And what we ended up focusing on is girls' menstruation at the schools, which is ironic because a bunch of guys were working with girls' menstruation. But the aim of our project was to keep girls in school, because when they menstruate, they leave school and they don't learn. So what we're trying to do is boost awareness, implement sustainable pads they can use. We also worked with the guys, the boys at these schools to help them learn about menstruation and try to get rid of the stigma attached to it in that culture, which is they point and laugh and stuff like that. I also was in charge of building hand washing devices called tip taps to implement in each school so they could wash their hands, get rid of the germs and stuff like that. It was a lot of work, I'd say.
Hi, my name is Rita Johnson, and I'm here to represent Global Citizens Network. Global Citizens Network is a nonprofit organization that has been in Minnesota since 1992. It was started by a small group of people along the lines of the Margaret Mead, a small group of people can make a big difference. And Global Citizens Network works with communities around the world, typically indigenous communities in rural areas, and we form partnerships with those communities who are interested in their own community development project. Through our partnerships, we form relationships and are invited into communities to work hand in hand with people on projects that the communities feel will enhance their own community. Some of the examples that we have of relationships and communities are with the Maasai people in Kenya, who invited us to work with them to build a medical clinic in very close to Mount Kilimanjaro. That clinic now is active, and many people visit each day. We have worked with women in Mexico and Xiloxochico to build a casita so that they can have a place to meet and work on their weaving together and a place to sell their goods as well. These are just a couple examples of the projects that we've worked on. We're an organization that enjoys having families come together. We find that when families, if it's grandparents, grandchildren, moms and dads, kids, when families work on these kind of projects with people and in places that they're not familiar with, there's a special bond that forms with them, in addition to the great advantages of working together on something that makes a difference and in coming to learn and know another culture in a different way. At the present time, we're in about 17 different locations, from places in the United States and Canada. We're in Asia, in Thailand, in Nepal, and we have sites in Africa, Tanzania, Kenya, and Central and South America as well.
I'm Rose Lundy.
And I'm Maddie Schaefer.
And we do the youth mission trips here. Last year we went to Arizona and worked on the Arizona-Mexico border, worked with illegal immigrants.
We helped out at local shelters, and we did one day where we went across the border and sort of looked at what life was like on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, and other years they've gone to like New Orleans and North Dakota.
This year we're going to Denver, Colorado to work with an organization called DOOR. It's an urban mission group.
We're gonna work at food shelters and with nurseries and paint some houses and stuff like that.
My name is Jean Wiley, and I'm a member of Bread for the World. It's an old organization of churches that write letters to their congressmen each year to remind them that they need to increase the amount of money that they legislate for hungry people in the world. You know about Haiti, and Liberia has had 2 civil wars, and those are just 2 places that are very much in need of help from our Congress. Last year in Indianapolis, they wrote to their congressman, and they got so many letters that they did vote to increase the food for the hungry people of the world. So write a letter today down in the fellowship hall.
The name now
anniversary of our church.
Wow. And you're doing really well.
And I suppose by now I have
I was in the first
like keeping them behind.
So how many people go to university?
Well, usually have 3 or 4, but there are more of us who rotate. We have 3 or 4 there. We have to